Hi everybody, Mark here from Dingle Cookery School. Welcome back. This week's baking challenge is going to be a beautiful pavlova. Something that maybe we've forgotten about, but what it is really is, it's just a beautiful soft meringue with a little bit of cornflour in there, topped with loads of cream and then some beautiful fruits. So let's bring back the old pavlova. So here we go. What I've done in here is I've already started, just to speed things up a little bit, I've whipped 4 egg whites. Now when making any type of meringue, it's so important that your mixing bowl, your whisk, everything is spotless. Any little bit of grease or dirt there and this will not rise. Okay, so egg whites have gone in there. It's just going to get noisy for a second. I'm just going to whip them up. So now what I'm going to do is just turn it down a little bit so you can hear me. I've got some caster sugar here. One tip is always put it into a jug because it's a lot easier just to pour it in one go. Now, what you want to do is, as that's mixing, you want to take it to, it should look like shaving foam. That's what a good meringue should look like. Should be lovely and shiny, should be lovely and glossy, okay? Few secrets that will always help you bake your meringue better is have the oven nice and low, okay? And that's really going to give you just a low cooked meringue. You want to have it a little bit chewy, it's going to be crispy as well. So if we have a look at this, that should be there, and we'll have a look at, see the way there's nice soft peaks from that. Just see the way that's like that. That's what we're looking for. So all together, that took maybe about 3-4 minutes at a very high speed. So just remember again that your mixer needs to be, or sorry, your mixing bowl, your utensils have to be so clean for this. And when you're breaking your egg whites as well, just make sure that there's no egg yolk in there. Now, so what's different with a pavlova is we're going to add in a little bit of cornflour. The cornflour helps to just soften it that little bit. So we're going to add that in there and I'm going to fold it in. Something that we've become very good at over the last few weeks. So folding is basically just nice and easy around the edges, pull it into the center. So far in most of the cakes you'll see that you have to fold something. So generally a dry ingredient into a mixture. Nice and gentle, but because we don't want to knock all that air out of there. Okay, there we go. And I have a tiny little bit of white wine vinegar as well, just a tiny little bit there. And as always, the recipe will just be below. It'll be on our YouTube channel as well. And there we go, just nice and shiny. And one of the reasons the vinegar is there, it's going to give us just a little small bit of acidity. It also helps to stabilize it as well, okay? But it's just a tiny little bit. Now, what we're going to do here, and it's a little trick, it's always good for meringues, put 2 sheets of parchment. It just helps that we're going to bake it nice and slowly, and it just helps to insulate a little bit. I'm just going to push, while I'm spinning this out, 2 clothes pegs. That's going to stop the parchment from going everywhere. So there's no oil or anything on that. Now all I'm going to do is, I'm going to take out my meringue, just put it into the center, okay? And if you're doing this for a large family gathering or anything like that, it's one that just easily double the recipe. 8 egg whites, and for this one, that will be 400 grams of caster sugar. It's very important that we use caster sugar. If we use granulated sugar, what you'll find is it's too gritty. You can still sort of taste and bite into the sugar as you're trying to eat it. Whereas with caster sugar, you'll find it's pretty much all gone. So look at this. Hey. Now, I am just going to, oh, really broke the bowl there. That wouldn't be funny. Just spread it around, nothing too fancy. What you can do if you're doing a lovely dinner party or anything like that, what you could do is you could do little individual ones. So I'm just going to keep it something like that. And remember, it's going to be very sweet, so maybe you don't need too much of this per slice, but that's I don't know, I'm gonna have a big slice. Okay, so now make sure not to put the doughs into the oven, it'll melt. That just helps while to stop the sheet from moving around. So one thing you'll see here is, see the way there's like, it's almost like a little bowl. There's a little sort of hollow in the center. I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, there we go, look at that. So just a little bit higher on the edges. Then what we're going to do is pop it into your oven. That's going to be at 120 degrees Celsius. And we're going to put that in there for about an hour, okay? One little tip which will make your meringues just that a little bit better, if you can, it doesn't work with my oven, but if you can leave it slightly ajar, so that when you've got the door, and if you can just put a little bit of tin foil or something there, it lets out the excess steam, and it's going to give you a perfectly snow white meringue. If you see mine, there's a slight sort of hint of brown. That's because I couldn't open the door. So if I was able to open the door slightly, what you would have is just such a snow white. And generally what I would always do for that is tiniest little bit of tin foil, just to leave the oven door just open just a small fraction. Now, we've got some freshly whipped cream with a little bit of icing sugar and a tiny bit of vanilla. Whipped up, but not too stiff. You can see that, look at that, just delicious. One thing I'm gonna do there is got some beautiful passion fruits. And I've just cut them in half, gonna fire all that in there. And the smell of passion fruit, look at that, isn't that just delicious? That goes in there. The good thing about this, you can put whatever fruit you want, fresh fruit you want in there. I'm just going to mix that around. So we now have a passion fruit cream. I'm going to throw another bit in there. It's all about the passion. There we go. Look at that. So yeah, anyone my age, I'm sure that you all grew up, anyone that grew up in the 80s, you would have seen a Pavlova come out for every family gathering. So I say bring back the Pavlova. So there we go. Now, what I'm going to do now is be generous with this. Just take a nice bit of cream, just put it around. We're going to decorate this all in a little while with some beautiful fruits. There we go, just push it around. And a good Pavlova should be crispy. You can hear it sort of trying to break open there. But also it should be a little bit chewy as well. Look at that. Oh my God. Even the smell of the passion fruit. Now, so to finish it off, what we're going to do is, I've got some mixed fruits. I've got kiwi in there, nice bit of blueberry, we have some strawberries, a little bit of nectarine, peach, and I think there's passion fruit, and just mix it up like that. But make sure your fruit is good and ripe. What I did with this as well is a little bit of sugar for about a half an hour beforehand, a little bit of caster sugar over it, and I put a small bit of vanilla in there. Just get those. And one thing that's always good is try to hold off on the fruit until about a half an hour before you serve it. They start to leak and just spoil maybe your beautiful presentation. Also, I leave my fruit quite chunky. It sort of helps fill in between the gaps there, and oh, look at this. The excitement. It's like 1982 all over again. Now, okay, look at that. Isn't that just divine? And then what every good dessert needs then, the end is just another bit of sugar. At this stage, it's icing sugar or powdered sugar if you're looking at across the water in the States. There we go, loads of that on. Happy days. Just a nice bit on. Gone's disappeared already. And whoop, there we go. Now, let's have a slice. Okay. So, looks good. Look at that. That says summer. Summer on a... Oh, look at that. Ha! And let's... Oh, look at that. Look. And try not to give too big of a slice for your guests. Keep the biggest slice for yourself. And... a slice. Just get a few strawberries there as well. The excitement. Look at that. And I want some more strawberries on mine. Now folks, there we go. What we have is beautiful pavlova, lovely ripe summer fruits, just yeah. So enjoy, and we look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you.